It's like I'm doing something fake. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again.
We didn't just do this.
We didn't just do this at all. Like, not as the internet is failing. And why is the internet failing in America and not in Egypt, by the way? Huh?
I don't know. It does that here occasionally, and you're right. What's up with that?
What's up with that? Come on, first word. Get your act together.
See, it's just more proof that America is not superior.
Welcome to episode 13, I think, of Omar Assamism, and today I have the awesome Rez Please from YouTube, and she's here because I love anyone who is pro-conversation, because no matter where they lay on the political scale, I'm done with the political scale to begin with. Let's just talk. I'm pro-talking, and she's pro-talking. That's why we're talking. Welcome, Rez, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I think that we are going to have a great conversation today.
Yes, we will. And we didn't say much until that the identity politics never worked on me, or didn't even get me in a conversation with anyone who starts a conversation with as a X-color, because the color doesn't get me anything. So I need to know more. I will treat you as an individual. And that's basically a push of me overall. I push for a lot of things, but I push for this, like, people are individuals, guys. Just know them, then decide whatever. I am pro, like, hating someone after you know them. Like, I have no problem with that. The thing that pisses me off is just hating a blanket group of people. Oh, those are the progressives. Those are the libtards. Those are the whatever. That thing is piss me off. But anyone over the political spectrum, whatever color, whatever religion, whatever, can be an asshole and can be a good guy. So let's just talk, and I will judge after a conversation and ask. By the way, this grouping always gets me, like, people get confused because this brown Egyptian, he's on the left, he's on the right, he's against Hillary. Holy shit! Like, it always confuses. Like, people still try to force me in a group. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's a big deal. I think I was the exact opposite. I was always very anti-hating people because of their identity. But I think I took it so far in the other direction that I would automatically give you more, I don't know, credence, more respect, more time.
More love, even if you suck.
Yes, I would give you more chances to prove that you were a good person. You know what I mean? Because I would, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like I've always felt like I was worried that people would think, as a white American, that I am racist. So
I know that's terrible. That's terrible.
I know.
It's like original sin. What have you done wrong? Have you done anything, you personally has done anything wrong? No. Then zero guilt. Done. It's as simple as that. It has nothing to do with anything else except who you are. You know yourself. You know you're not bad. I mean, it's so weird for me because I had this conversation before with someone, and it was like, I always felt these things, and I wanted to say something, which is always my opinion. Like, he agreed with me, but I kept quiet because I felt it's not my place. No, it's, what do you mean it's not your place? Is this like self-censorship inside of your own brain? It was weird.
Yes, I think we do that a lot.
But I mean, self-censorship inside of your own brain, inside of a group of people. Like, you're the First Amendment free speech. I don't have First Amendment. I can say whatever I want.
That's good.
So, it's like social pressure or personal pressure, anti what you think or what you want to say. It's not like here it's government. Here I can't go on media and criticize the Sisi. But I looked some groups. I talk to Americans a lot in gaming, in sci-fi, and I'm into other groups other than atheism and ex-Muslim and stuff. And I noticed I have this opinion. This opinion will be only in my brain, because I will say
what? I'm sorry.
Only in my brain.
Right.
This opinion, even in my social circle, is just no. I don't want to get into it. It's like, I thought it was lazy at first, and then it was actual. I thought it was weird because I am used to disagreeing. I have a lot of friends who I disagree with, so done. What's the big deal?
Right.
But then I heard a lot of stuff like defriending people. Like, the political divide went so far as people losing each other. That was insane. That what? I know that exact divide because of religion, but I never thought it was political. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I think the two are deeply intertwined. I think the politics and religion are deeply intertwined. And I find that if I'm like debating somebody who's political, you know, like a political debate with somebody who is an atheist, it is a much easier conversation. If you are debating politics with somebody who is religious and they base their politics on their religion, the idea that you're going to get anywhere with them is pretty much non-existent.
We both agree on that, because I will argue religion, then I will forget about politics, and let's argue religion, existence of God, and the whole deal. But even among atheists, like the whole atheism plus thing was still a bubble of social justice stuff. With anyone, any differing opinion will be like, what are you saying? And still people will want to be, and it's coming from a good place. That's the weird part. That's disagreement between me and my friends, by the way. To say it again, there was a split between the Arab secular community and America's Left. We used to love America's Left. Now fuck America's Left. Done. We're fucking done. And
because we went too far left, right?
No. You went too far. I don't even know the adjective. Sorry, let's criticize. It's not what you expect, by the way. You expect, too far down identity politics, the alliance with Islamists, Linda Sarsour and that stuff. But actually, the main split was foreign policy. Like the second Obama supported the Muslim Brotherhood, we were done. Like,
oh, interesting.
Yeah, but people from outside America have this whole thing, which is really important, that America has a lot of effect over the world. That's foreign policy. What is his foreign policy? Let's read about foreign policy. We want to know what America will do to us.
Yes.
So,
do you guys feel like the American president has an awful lot of like influence on what happens in y'all's country?
Yeah, of course, because that's a Texas accent, right?
Yeah.
I know accents too. Okay, yeah, and it's weird because when it comes to domestic issues, there is always checks and balances, and the Senate will say this, and the Congress. But foreign policy, no, the president is like tick, 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 meeting this guy, doing this guy. It's like in one person, which is really weird. Wow. I want checks and balances on foreign policy, guys, and I want foreign policy advisors to do things, not just the president who would say one word.
Wow, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, if you notice, the president has a lot of administrative power when it comes to foreign policy, but not domestic. Domestic, people will stop him. Foreign, done, easy. He's the arbiter of. He speaks for all of you guys. 300 million.
Wow.
Your opinion, one guy. How is that to the entire world?
So shitty.
That's so shitty indeed. Like, and it's all. And
but you're right. You know, that's funny because when I first got into politics was right after 9/11, and Bush was trying to take us to war, and I did not want to go to war. I just did not. And all I could think about was the mamas and the kids and the houses while they're hearing the bombs. That's all I could think about. So I spent like the next months involved in like activist groups and protests trying to stop the war. Like the whole world was trying to stop the war, right? Bush took us anyway.
Bush, Cheney, Scooter Libby can do it all on their own. Done. And the weird thing is, even the guys who are like, let's do this, let's do that, didn't take their advice. Like the whole thing about, of course, all of us are anti-Iraq war, but there was Al-Qaeda in Iraq in the north, which is Abu Mus'ab al-Zarqawi. There could be surgical strikes against Al-Qaeda without getting even near Iraq. And that's the right thing to do. I'm not a total non-interventionist. But even the guys with this idea, the neocons took him down.
Yeah.
And it's weird that those guys have this power to, the people, the Americans who died, the Iraqis who died, all of that, the decision is like 3 people.
Wow.
And two of them are pure evil and one is an idiot.
And and one is yes, absolutely. 2 are pure evil and 1 is an idiot. That's an absolutely good way to do it. Like when we just had our Las Vegas shooting, I'm sure you know about the Las Vegas shooting we just had. My initial thought was this is a fat fault, and I know that this is conspiracy theory, so I'm not saying this is actually what happened, but my initial fear was this is a false flag done by the Trump administration so they can take us to war. This is them Yes, because it would be a perfect distraction, right, from everything that's going on with him.
Exactly.
And people are so ready for war with Muslim countries, it's not even funny. So that was my original thought is, oh shit, this is their way to get us into another war.
Here is two things about conspiracy theories. The conspiracy theories fail because even the government of the strongest country in the world is not that prominent or good to make a conspiracy theory work correctly. Like something will fail and the information will come out. Second, believe it or not, the president of the United States of America doesn't need a false flag to do it.
Well, I guess that's true too.
Yeah. Like you think it has to be a false flag? No, he just can do it. Like, okay, let's
that's true. He can just bring in a little vial of something and go, oh look, there's weapons of mass destruction there. We'll just go take them out.
The WDMD's thing is just, how can you still believe anything after that? Like, it's insane. Like, I mean, it's weird because people, this is a topic of the Sam Harris and the Noam Chomsky of the world. Is American foreign policy involved or not? And of course, my position is the jihadis will do whatever they want, even if you didn't do anything. It's not your fault.
Yeah.
But you keep forgetting the nationalism of other countries. There is a click when America invades Iraq. That title alone to people who are nationalists, Iraqi nationalists, done even if they're not religious. It has nothing to do. That one has nothing to do with religion. Which when it's against a state, like if I explain it correctly, sorry if I confused you. When America attacks a non-state actor like ISIS, Al Qaeda, Ansar al-Sham, whoever non-state actor, it's not a country, it's not a state, it's not Syria, it's not Libya. It's fine. There is not that, or we have to death to America. Fuck ISIS. We all hate ISIS. But even if,
although there was a little bit of an uproar when we dropped the mother of all bombs on that ISIS compound, but otherwise I totally see what you're saying.
No, do whatever you want to ISIS. Please do. Like, we're doing it too, and we want even like don't get me started on ISIS in Sinai and Libya. But when the title is against a state, that's when it gets dangerous because people keep talking about this. The Islam's role in it, or it's just American foreign policy. Noam Chomsky is wrong, of course, but people forget that some citizens of that country are national. Let's say Dick Cheney and Scooter Libby made up some WMD thing that Mubarak had, and they invaded Egypt. I will be in the middle of the street killing Americans.
Right.
And I'm an atheist. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with. Yeah, it's just okay. Fuck, you're here.
Well, other people just haven't have as much national pride as Americans do, right? And it's not even just a national pride too. It's a you've come into my house. Here. I'm going to fight you, right? Exactly. I am not going to just let you take my stuff.
An Egyptian nationalist Nasser guy or an Arab nationalist to say, shit, that's my house. Like,
yeah, well, that's like the whole fight between the Palestinians and the Israelis. They always want to make it a purely religious thing, and I'm like, but no, they came in and took their house.
Yeah,
it wasn't a really. I mean, yes, religion plays into it, but a lot of it is really just they took their house. What do you expect them to do?
Religion plays into that one because it makes the separation even harder. There's a wall along the settlements, Jews, Muslims. If it was just took my house, it would be more integrated and it will be eventually solved. Now we'll have no other solution except
I see what you're saying. Eventually it would solve. Yeah, but the religion is what makes it keep going.
Like Lebanon civil war. Eventually it will get solved. But they were still killing each other because my house. But they're all Lebanese, so done. And the religion played a part in the beginning, and it was solved. But that was my point about American foreign policy being, because sometimes the criticism is not directed correctly. Like there's criticism about drone strikes that is totally not justified. The only people driven to terrorism from drone strikes are like the survival jihadis from that drone strike. That's about it.
Do you really think that? I'm actually curious because this is another thing that I've been very, very conflicted about.
Yes.
Because yes, of course we have to fight extremists. We just have to. I mean, it's a dangerous thing, right? But on the other hand, when I hear about as a ex-progressive or a lefty or whatever, and I hear about drone strikes, you hear about the fact that it got kids and it got moms, and it got, you know what I mean? It didn't necessarily get the soldiers that are actually out to get us. And so it makes it very hard to get behind those.
Any false casualties from civilians is terrible, and I will stand against it and all that. Of course, and that's terrible. It's not like I'm defending every single drone strike, but my thing is, there's another thing that is literally 100 times more dangerous, which is attacking a state.
I see. Yeah.
Attacking a state is not it's what do you mean you can attack a state? Like, you know what I mean? But when it's these guys are Al-Qaeda or ISIS, the people of that country hate Al-Qaeda. By the way, you know that like the number one on the line fighting ISIS are Muslims. Like
I have heard that.
You have heard that? Like Egyptian army are fighting. The last time 19 was killed was 2 weeks ago in a bombing in Sinai. Trust me, no. Muslims fight. When it comes to counterterrorism, I stand with Muslims way more than any lefty in the United States.
Interesting.
That's because they know the enemy, and of course they have no fear of being Islamophobic.
Right.
By definition, because they know these assholes. And guess what they call them? They call them الجماعات الإسلامية الجهادية. Radical Islamic terrorism.
Oh, okay.
So even the Muslims can call it that. Like, we're fighting Muslim Brotherhood, and the Muslim Brotherhood get asylum in Europe and in America and Canada. And we banned them here.
Can you tell me more about the Muslim Brotherhood? Because I don't really know what that is.
Oh my God, where do I even
Because when you said that when Obama supported it, that was the end for you, and I don't really understand why.
Let's start. The Muslim Brotherhood is an Egyptian thing, not a Saudi thing, that started in 1923 by a guy, an asshole called Hassan al-Banna. And throughout, when Egypt was a kingdom, and then Gamal Abdel Nasser and all that, they were trying to get into political power to make Egypt an Islamic caliphate. So unlike ISIS, unlike ISIS is let's kill everyone because this land is ours, and we'll make an Islamic caliphate. The Muslim Brotherhood way is get into politics, control power, delete the constitution afterwards. It's an Islamic state. So it's they actually use
same end goal but different
tactics. And the Muslim Brotherhood's tactics is completely different. The views they have, there's a guy who lived in the States called Sayyid Qutb who studied the West and came back and was a major role in the Brotherhood thinking. That's why the Brotherhood is prominent in the West, because he actually understands how to fool you guys, basically. I will be honest. I will get you, the history of the Brotherhood is long. It would take, like, I've read 35 books on it. So it's not that easy, but let's get you to the point about that specific subject. The word Islamophobia, who made it up? The Muslim Brotherhood.
No way.
Yes, because in the 90s, they realized the Jews with the anti-Semitic thing are getting this. Let's try to change Islam from a religion to a race. That's why we can use white. Yes, read Wikipedia and the Muslim Brotherhood in the UK and in Berlin. They were Egyptian, by the way. And guess why they chose Berlin? Let's choose the most guilty state ever. Let's choose Germany. Germans will
one who is the most afraid of looking racist or
the most
afraid. God.
No, it's fucking disgusting. And when I start to explain Muslim Brotherhood tactics, because I know them so well, like I fought them for 2 years.
Wait, really? You were like actually in the fight?
I was in the fight because they fucking controlled my country. Morsi was a Muslim Brotherhood president for a year until we took him down.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I still don't know. Okay, remember, there was a revolution. Egyptian revolution along the Arab Spring.
And I am your typical American who knows very little about that. I'm just going to admit it. And it's something I'm proud of.
Yeah, no, don't worry. But I wanna explain to you the West part more than the Egypt part, because that would be even like not only more interesting, but that's the part you need, and your listeners, when you share this, need to know. You know what I mean? Because
yes,
know that you're getting fooled by some people. And whenever I'm talking, disclaimer before anything, I'm talking about certain organizations which I hate. I'm not talking about Muslims. Done?
right. I'd like to put my disclaimer in there too. Same thing.
Yeah. And this but when it comes to these organizations, Rez, I find liberals even, but those guys are just a political part. No, don't start that shit. Don't start Islamophobia shit when it comes to the fucking Muslim Brotherhood. You know what I mean? Like, there's limits. Like, that's an organization. Like, if a right winger was, I'm anti-CARE, the Council for Islamic Relations, which are the Muslim Brotherhood in America, by the way. If I'm anti those guys, I want to close that shop. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Dude, good luck. I want to help you. But the problem comes when the enemy comes Muslims. If the enemy kept on being certain organizations, either terrorist organizations, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Al-Shabaab, Boko Haram, whatever, of course, all of those kill. And all of those fight in a culture war. You know what I mean?
Yes.
All of the others is like the Muslim Brotherhood and Hizb ut-Tahrir. Hizb ut-Tahrir is mainly Australia now, not America. And America is way better than Europe, so don't worry. But America is so better than Europe because you have a strong right wing. Let's be honest here. Like, it's so weird as liberal. I'm not in America, but to see that the only guys preventing some shitty stuff to happen are totally right wingers. And
I hate to admit that because I'm so not right wing, but I think you're right. I think that because I mean, like I said, my thing has just recently changed, and so 6 months ago I was like, open borders, let them all in.
Oh my God.
I know. Well, I know. So I'm just saying you're right. It is the right wing that has largely kept us safer. I'll admit it.
And that's open border mentality is weird because we are the strong. We have to help all humanity. All humanity is one. Like, it's coming from a good place, right? But what about other countries? Why are other countries closing their, like, should you judge other? Egypt is closing its borders against the Palestinians who want to pass because Hamas might be among them. Are we racist?
Right. No, obviously you're not. No, I totally agree.
Why did this immigration issue turn into racism? That's my problem. It would be the right term for it.
Well, nationalism. I mean, I can tell you that.
Nationalism.
That's a pretty easy one to me. When 9/11 happened, the way that I could watch brown people being treated before 9/11 and after 9/11, it was disgusting, dude. It was so gross. And even still today, the way people still look at people in hijabs and stuff here, it's disgusting. And so that's why it became a racist thing, because it is bad how people started treating regular everyday Muslims in our country.
And people try to fix the communication issue by calling it anti-Muslim bigotry instead of calling it Islamophobia, because Islam is in it, and the Muslim Brotherhood didn't specifically made it Muslimophobia. Islamophobia. Islam is out of criticism. Don't touch Islam.
What is the difference? So I'm sorry. What is the difference between Muslimophobia and Islamophobia?
Exactly. Anti-Muslim bigotry is bigotry against Muslim. Islamophobia, fear of Islam, which sometimes is justified.
Yes. And same thing with Christianity too. I mean, I kind of compare the two a lot, really.
Like, anti-Christian bigotry is like any Christian, fuck him. That's wrong. But Christianity, dude, I hate Christianity, is right.
Okay,
There's a difference between ideas and people. Ideas are not out of the question of criticism. People you should protect. There's a difference. Even if they hold those bad ideas.
Yes.
Even if they hold those bad ideas. But the problem is when there's a movement pushing the bad ideas, which is rising Islam in Europe, anyone who is pro-Western values trying to push back on that movement, which is a cultural war and I want the Western values to win, they use racism as if criticizing an idea is bigotry against people. That's the problem. They are actually smart, and I didn't even get into Muslim Brotherhood tactics, but they're really fucking smart. This is another, by the way, misconception, because there's a part of like liberals, or let's call them regressive left. Let's you not use liberal. You still there? Hello?
Yeah.
Because last time you kept like.
I know. Thankfully, not again.
Thankfully not again. Which is usually called soft bigotry of low expectations. Like, you know about it. Of course, right?
Of course, yes.
Okay. But because Muslims are persecuted, we have to help them. Guys, you don't know how powerful these guys are. These guys are not like poor brown people coming from, and you have to help. Supported by millions of dollars from Qatar. They have boxes everywhere.
From
Qatar? No, Qatar is the Muslim Brotherhood supporters #1. Saudi Arabia is blamed for ISIS.
Wait a minute, Qatar, I did not know that. I thought they were more Western in their values, Qatar.
Oh my God, that's
really? I'm so wrong.
Okay, yeah, you're so wrong. You're so wrong, and I probably know why you made that. Because if you see Al Doha, which is in Qatar, it was pretty liberal, like people, women walking without hijab and stuff. That is a thing, like Qatar inside of Qatar, but Qatar's foreign policy is supporting Muslim Brotherhood and Hamas, by the way. And it's so difficult because the geopolitics of the Middle East is difficult. But I will make at least the teams here.
Okay.
Really quickly, and I will continue my conversation about the Muslim Brotherhood. There are 3 blocks, okay? Block #1, Qatar, Turkey, Muslim Brotherhood, Hamas. Okay, that's a block, they're allies. Block #2, Saudi Arabia, United States, Israel. Which I know is a weird bunch, but
I was just about to say, that is really weird. Although, I mean, I get why you're saying that, but it's so strange to clump those two together.
Yeah. Saudi Arabia.
I mean, the 3 of us are strange, but especially those 2.
But their allies, their goals are the same, and. The 3rd block is Iran, Syria, Hezbollah, and Russia. Okay?
Oh, wow.
Those are the 3 blocks fighting in the Middle East. And you can be in one block and hate the other 2. And other countries not in any block can be allied slightly to one and not to the other. Like Egypt, his main foreign policy is anti-block #1, anti-Muslim Brotherhood, anti-Qatar, anti-Turkey, anti-Hamas. But we have no idea.
But didn't you say that the Muslim Brotherhood was mostly out of Egypt?
Yeah. It started here and it died here, thank God.
But the country and y'all's overall, you're like, no,
No, look, I will send you videos for the people in Tahrir, what they did to the Muslim Brotherhood. And the Muslim Brotherhood, of course, is a banned terrorist organization in Egypt. They blown up churches and they blown up checkpoints to the army. And it's I will tell you a lot. Like, forget the policies. Like, they actually did terrorist attacks. Now you're done. Now you're in prison, and it's over. But the policies themselves, let's forget every single terrorist attack the Muslim Brotherhood ever made. If there's people in the parliament of your country who want to return FGMs to hospitals, who want to remove women from reporting sexual harassment and rape if they're not wearing a hijab, because it's her fault. It's her fault if she's not wearing a hijab. She brought it on herself. If that's
so gross.
It's beyond gross. If that's like the policies being pushed socially, I don't even care if they're a terrorist organization or not. You know what I mean?
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, fuck it. It's even if there is no zero terrorist attack, because there is no terrorist attacks committed in the West by the Muslim Brotherhood, to be honest. Like, the Muslim Brotherhood, that's why they can use the West under the flag of human rights, free speech, and everything, because they actually in the West, to be honest, like CARE is in America. CARE is not a terrorist organization. It's an Islamist organization, which is want to promote Islam and Islamic values all over America. That's still bad.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. If you're going to see, and here's where my liberal thing kicks in. I'm like, but
they have a right? No, they don't. Why? Explain to me the rules.
Because okay, here's where I get conflicted. I think that just like in Christianity, there are some people who interpret it in a certain way, and then there are extremists who interpret it to mean it's okay to kill in the name of God. That's the same thing in Christianity as it is in the Quran, right? And so some Muslims take like the jihadi thing as that is permission to self-defend, and then some extremists take that jihadi thing as it's okay to kill infidels. So
the inner struggle, self-defense thing is just another Islamist apologist lie, by the way. Jihad is jihad.
Wait. So you're saying that like a regular, normal, everyday Muslim who wouldn't be involved in terrorism, they would read those passages and think what?
Jihad is jihad against the infidels. The only part which some scholars made it calm down is being attacked to initiate jihad. And they already initiated jihad because of the Palestinian-Israeli and because of American deployments here. So done. It doesn't even matter. Any jihadi will commit jihad.
So they're already in a self-defense position.
Done. So the whole, no, jihad is an internal struggle. Only if I get attacked, it's over. They're already convinced themselves it's a self-defense position 70 years ago.
So, okay, I'm sorry to keep harping on this, but this is like such a huge delineation in my mind between like Muslims and extremists.
Okay. I will make it easier for you, but just think about this a little. Muslims are good people because they went away from Orthodox Islam you're talking about, not because they actually believe it.
So you're saying that's Orthodox Islam, and people have like.
I said Orthodox and didn't say Islam just to make it easier. But my point is the everyday Muslims are good people because they left all the literal shit from Islam, not because they're true Muslims.
They're not true Muslims. Like they're what, a reformed Muslim or something?
They don't even think about it. Like, do you think every single Christian in America have read the Bible cover to cover?
No.
Okay, why did you assume that every single Muslim read the whole Quran and the Hadith and are following them to the letter? They're
okay.
Not.
Good point.
But whoever follows them does that shit. So when I criticize the books and the ideas themselves, suddenly the left and Islamic apologist and Linda Sarsour starts attacking. Meanwhile, the Muslims themselves are closer to me than the left and Linda Sarsour and the Islamic apologists.
Wow.
Because there's such a thing as a liberal Muslim who just doesn't care, who even drinks. Who cares? Like this idea that every single Muslim is following, like when a right-winger or warmonger brings out the text, look, there is a hadith that says this. Okay, that's a right criticism against Islam, but some Muslims don't even know that hadith. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But here is the problem. When you ask any of those normal Muslims, do you believe in the Quran and the Sunnah 100%? They will say yes.
Even if they haven't read it all.
Of course they will say yes because they believe in Allah and they believe in God. Done. Just like any Christian, this Bible have everything good, right? They didn't read it. Yes, of course, Jesus. Done.
I see. And there's lots of shit in the Bible that could be interpreted to be just as shitty as what's in
But the Christians don't do it anymore. Who cares?
Exactly. So there is a big difference between like somebody who follows the Bible to the letter of the law and somebody who's just generally into Jesus teachings, right? So you're saying there's a difference between somebody who's like generally into what the idea of what Muhammad taught is, but they don't actually follow their Bible to the letter of the law.
Exactly. And it's not even the idea of my parents who taught me some things about Islam and done. That's the Muslims you have. And by the way, let's make a difference specifically because I keep saying the right winger was right on this, the left winger, and there is different places in the world which have different situations. So you have to change your politics. There is no such thing as a blanket statement. I am against Islamophobia and done. There's a place, like, you know what I mean? So in America, there is actually no threat. There's actually no threats because there is no organization. And to be honest, you need to be so grateful for the FBI and Homeland Security and NSA and the CIA.
I am.
Trust me, like,
I admit
it. You should, like, you have to. Because I hear this whole also coming from the regressive left, like they're so ungrateful. Like they keep calling the government white supremacist. And do you fucking know what the CIA is doing in the Middle East itself? Like these people are undercover for 25 years just to relay simple information once a year.
Wow.
They're fucking, like, I read more from ex-CIA operatives than most Americans I know, you know what I mean? Because they were here. And they're fucking, like, I feel from the left specifically, there is an unpatriotic feel towards these institutions which keep getting accused of shit non-stop. And they've done things for America to save innocent lives, and they're saving innocent lives all over the world, by the way. They're good guys. And what is this non-stop shit about, like, hating America and we're bad guys? Do you know you're the good guys? Like, how this, like, I'm not talking about Trump administration, but
yeah, I was gonna say maybe not the government so much, but yes.
But no, even that, like, okay, I will explain my point. This anti-government or anti-even, oh no, we're the bad guys, white guilt, white guilt, white guilt. Sometimes there's America versus X, okay? America's shitty, and X is fucking shitty.
Yeah.
And for some reason, the left and parts of I keep calling the left and liberal, but whenever I say this, I'm talking regressive left or far left, okay?
Gotcha.
Suddenly are allied with the awesome shit because it's against the little shit of theirs. Like, I've seen tweets defending Iran. I've seen tweets fucking pro Kim Jong-il bashing Trump. Like, we're seriously gonna compare Trump to Kim Jong? Do you guys know what's happening in North Korea? Seriously? Like,
no, I agree. That's disgusting.
Yeah, that's fucking disgusting. That's fucking unpatriotic. Like, that's the shit I'm talking about. Because you keep, like, perfecting your point of view and lose the argument against any foreign entity against you or any domestic entity against your own values. Like, there is nothing wrong to be, okay, I made this joke, and of course, probably it won't, people who might not understand me, but I am a Western value supremacist. There's nothing wrong with that. It's disgusting when it comes to color. But it's not disgusting if you're standing up for liberal human rights values. And fuck any cultural relativism coming to force you into, how are we to judge? But we are not the best. We did some stuff back 200-300 years ago. What is this bullshit? That's fucking bullshit. Talk about that bullshit, Rez.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think I have a slightly more disfavorable view of our government, just for because you're right. Like, we don't really understand how much better it is here than so many other countries. But of course, you don't see me moving to any other countries too. So obviously that means something. But I still have I do feel like our government could use a lot of help in regard to treating people equally across the globe and within our own country. So I think I probably do criticize them more than maybe I should. Maybe I should give them a better rap. But in my mind, I still go back to that. It's like my whole worldview changed when the Iraq War went through.
No, I was sitting. Or fuck you for the Iraq War, 100% done. Like, this is not even an argument anymore. Like, it's so. I can get into details, but there is even some neocon politics which could have worked, and you still failed in the failure. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like, yeah, exactly.
The Iraq War could have ended, and the Ba'ath Party should have been disassembled, and Iraq would have some institutions that would save it. But still, even in that, so Rez, that's like a total declaration against America, right? No, because even then, 2006, 2007, there was actual Al-Qaeda in Iraq, RBQ, and the head of them is Abu Mus'ab al-Zarqawi, one of the worst human beings ever. He's the guy who started the ISIS methodology. If you want to trace back ISIS, he started the whole people wearing orange, and all the disgusting shit from ISIS started from Iraq, from that guy, okay? And a fight kept going between Americans and Al-Qaeda, and you won in 2007 and you killed him in 2006. So that's good. Like it's not that like always 100% what have we done wrong. There's other people doing stuff wrong. Like and it's so centrist. Like there's shit going on around in the world, you know what I mean? Like you're not in control of everything. Like there is a trouble between Saudi Arabia and Qatar. Do you have something to do with it? No. There's trouble between Lebanon and now Turkey is against Kurdistan independence. Did the America cause the Turks and the Kurds to hate each other? It has a history of 30 years. You know, there's a lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
A lot of
the stuff going on in your neck of the woods was happening before America was even America.
Exactly. So what is this like? Because of imperialism and one time in whatever when we did this and we did that, I can criticize specific foreign policy. By the way, just to not be the defender of America, I am against any American foreign policy that's literally going to let's hit a state, like invading another state. That's out of the question, period. Like every single time, and people think I am an anti-interventionist because I say that, and I'm not. I'm pro-intervening to save people, like when Obama helped the Yazidis and touch on ISIS, and there's humanitarian intervention, and there is invading countries. You know the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that part of invading countries, like, and of course, whenever I talk about this with a liberal, he always thinks that the only guys at fault of anything in the Middle East are just the evil Republicans. Zero about the Obama administration's mistakes in Syria. Zero about the Obama administration supporting the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt. Zero about Libya, by the way. Like there's this thing in their head which is, oh yeah, the Republicans want to destroy the Middle East. Why are you like anti-Hillary? Dude, do you know what the Obama administration did? Do you know the red line lie? How much it costs? How much is that one? Let's pick one. Let's pick one and see the consequences. The consequences are the loss of tens of thousands of human lives. One
because he drew a red line and then didn't actually act on it.
Yes, it's disasters. It's why Russia is everywhere. By the way, Russia is in Syria.
So would you say he shouldn't have drawn the red line, or he should have acted on it when he did?
If he did draw the line, he should have acted, but he shouldn't have drawn that red line.
Okay, he shouldn't have drawn the red line at all. Okay.
But after he did, also okay, it's because geopolitics is. Should I get into explaining this for 3 minutes? Are you interested?
I want you to explain everything. I could just listen to everything you have to say.
Putin wants one thing, wants a return of the Soviet Union. Everything he lost in the Soviet Union, all the states should be Russia again. Okay? So a lot of countries around Russia right now, which belong to the Soviet Union, have Russian separatists, and he uses like intervening to make them revolt and a lot of stuff. Okay? But a lot of these countries are depending on America's word that if Russia comes, America will come. America's word is none. It's like Article 5 NATO stuff. Like America's word is strong. We can stay here. We will not bow down to Putin because we can't bow down to Putin. Now, the second, 2013, Obama red line, and then John Kerry, like, okay, let's calm things down. Assad got rid of his chemical weapons. By the way, that was another fucking lie. Because chemical weapons killed people. Because of course, Democrats never do anything wrong in the Middle East. Now, what can Putin do so that all of these countries he want to intimidate give in to Russia? They should forget about America's word, which is where is the one place on earth where America recently made a red line? Syria. Russia in Syria. Done.
Broke its word.
He goes to Syria, uses chemical weapons again. America didn't do anything. Now, Austria and Georgia, Ukraine, all the Balkan states, all of that is now bowing down to Russia, and Russia spread like never before because of one.
Wait! You're saying that they're bowing down to Russia because they don't think we have their back anymore?
Your word is nothing.
Wow.
Okay, you keep saying Trump's lies are dangerous. Trump's lies are dangerous, and you have no idea what that one Obama lie did to the entire world.
No, I did not realize how far-reaching that effect was.
That was fucking far-reaching. Have you ever seen Russian influence that far away from Russia for your entire existing life? Okay, the Cold War ended.
No,
Since
you're
the Cold War,
right.
never before have Putin been in all of these countries before. Why? Because of Obama.
Wow. Okay. So, but now Putin basically has, maybe I'm wrong about Trump, but I do feel like he and Putin have a thing.
And that's complicated too in the geopolitics, because I should get into it, but you keep on talking. I keep on talking. I'll smoke.
No. I'm learning so much from you. I need to go back. I've already watched a few of your things. I need to go back and watch more. It's amazing how much information you have in that brain.
It's always, but geopolitics is complicated, and it's okay to not know the rest of the world. That's fine, but it's not okay to state statements about the rest of the world while you don't know. Like, I have no problem with American guy who doesn't give a shit and fuck the Middle East. I don't know, and I'm just playing video games. Good dude. Nothing wrong. Seriously, there's nothing wrong with that. I have a problem with we stand against Assad because this, and suddenly supporting Jabhat al-Nusra, which is the terrorist organization. Not everyone against Assad is good. Why are you like? You know what I mean? Like, if you don't know what you're talking about, shut up.
Shut up. Yeah. Well, and that's one of the reasons why I haven't talked a lot about it, but I am trying to learn more about it now, because being on the left and realizing how hurtful the left has been toward, reforming Islam and whatnot. I feel like it's sort of I sort of have a duty almost to learn about it now and talk from the left about it. Because I feel like the left has held back any sort of movement we could have had forward in this regard. And so I want to try and help as much as I can, but I got to learn as much as I can first.
Rez, if there was a strong left standing up for principles, there wouldn't be a movement towards the right, because it's the only one talking about the issue at the first place.
Yeah.
Even we were pro America's left, but if America's left is Ben Affleck, where is the Republican? I mean, okay, you know that a lot of Egyptians here, I'm not talking about ex-Muslims, I'm talking normal Egyptians, love Ted Cruz. You think why? Why do Egyptians love Ted Cruz?
Yeah, why do they?
Because Ted Cruz was the one who entered the bill to Congress stating the Muslim Brotherhood as a terrorist organization. Thank you. Oh. Someone fucking did it. At least the Republicans are doing shit towards people here right now. Okay, good.
Wow.
I'm not gonna, like, if there's
who would have thought the Republicans would have made the Muslim people so happy? I just would never have expected.
That's a difference. That's a flaw. Also, like, when we hate the Muslim Brotherhood, I'm not saying we as AC. I'm talking we as Egyptians, as Muslims.
Right.
The people who revolted against the Muslim Brotherhood are Muslims. The people who are fighting ISIS are Muslims. So don't even think that, oh, this organization is Islamic, so we shouldn't go against them, because Muslim reformers and Muslims are going after them more than you. For a long while. Like, you keep, like, okay, when I like, I'm not, of course, pro, like, Egyptian state security, okay? But I want to explain how are they fighting terrorism better than anyone, because these guys are talking shit. Cameras in mosques, done. I don't care. We will have cameras on you. People doing that will surveil this, and these guys are in prison, one step at a time. Whenever I look at some stuff that state security does, and I think if they're copied to America, accusations of Patriot Act, Islamophobia, racism, non-stop. Can you, like, put cameras in a mosque because a mosque is talking extremism? No fucking way. The same with the UK. The UK is, but in your case, it's okay, because there is no actual threat of terrorism. I don't think so. Like, to be honest, Europe is fucked, not America. Europe is totally fucked.
Well, Europe is what's changing my mind on it. The fear that could start happening here.
You have two things that Europe doesn't have: the Atlantic Ocean and a strong right wing.
Yeah.
What saved you is just distance. Seriously, I'm not even kidding.
Do you think it's the right wing that has made it so that like there hasn't ever been another 9/11, or do you think that they can actually be credited for that?
No, I credit CIA, FBI organizations. They're not right wing or left wing. They're working. Okay. They're making their job good since 9/11, and they're actually making their job like they need credit, guys. The threat keeps continuing all over the world, and you didn't get hit except 2 or 3 times from Islamic terrorism, and that's, by the way, good. Look at Europe.
Yeah.
Europe
but how sad is that, though, that we go, oh, we got lucky. We only had it 2 or 3 times. Like it's such a bad problem that we're actually lucky it only happened 2 or 3 times.
It is. If you look at Germany, if you look at Spain, if you look at England, the UK have. Okay, I'm gonna tell you a story because I clicked into that when you said even the Muslims are against the Muslim Brotherhood. Someone I know who had a career in London, medicine and stuff, and she loved it. She had to return back to Cairo because it's safer here than London from the Muslim extremists. Can you believe? Even like she told me a quote like the Muslims in Maadi, Cairo, which is a place in Cairo, will defend me against the crazy Muslims in UK.
Wow.
That's how bad Europe has become. That's how
Are no-go zones real?
No-go zones in Sweden are real. Only in Sweden.
They're real. But they're not in France, because I've heard they have them in France too.
Okay, in France there is like a street which is lived by a lot of asshole Muslims. That's about it, basically.
Okay.
It's not a no-go zone. They can go there and they can start a fight, and it's like an unsafe neighborhood more than like a stronghold no-go zone. Sweden is the most fucked of the fucked Europe.
Really? And haven't they let in the is it them or Germany that have let in the most?
Germany is what opened the door to the entire Europe by Merkel entering 5 million from Syria.
I gotcha. And then because of the EU, they were able to go wherever they wanted.
The Schengen and everything, they can go anywhere they want because of the EU. Like, how many times does Germany have to ruin Europe? Come on.
Wow, Germany. You're a beautiful country. Could you cut it out? God bless it. Well, so, okay. So then what do you think? I mean, okay. All right. So what do you think as a liberal in America, what do you think a person like me can even do to help? Because this is clearly a global problem that is not being addressed right. And I want to help, but I don't have any idea what to do.
Okay. There's things you can push against in the regressive left, like naming people who are criticizing ideas, racist, bigot, the Ben Affleck type. And sometimes it's an organization like the SPLC calling Ayan Hirsi Ali and Majid Nawaz anti-Muslim extremists, while Majid is a Muslim. You explained that one, left.
Oh, wow. Weird.
At least Ayan is an atheist. She's an ex-Muslim and she's a victim of female genital mutilation. Like, how can the SPLC, the awesome SPLC, which is there to protect you guys from white supremacists,
yes,
these people are criticizing. Majid is like defending Muslims. Like, if you read Radical or read Ayan Hirsi Ali's book called Infidel. Just read that book and see that your side is calling a woman from Somalia, a black woman from Somalia, an ex-Muslim who are a victim of a female genital mutilation, a racist,
I love her.
bigot, and go against the SPLC. But first of all, I want the left to start treating people like individuals and talk to them. Like, how is this? Like, if there was a Christian, you would tell them, like, I don't believe in the Bible, or where's your argument? And you would talk normally, right?
Yes.
But when it's a Muslim, why the sudden respect for beliefs and religion untouchable? Why? What's the difference? Isn't that treating people differently, by the way?
That's true. That is true. That's something I've learned a lot about over the last few months, how identity politics is actually...
Why do you think so low of Muslims that they can't take it? Like, they can't take it. Actually,
well, I don't even think it's so much a fear of how the other person's how the Muslim is gonna feel. I think it's a fear of what you're gonna be perceived as a racist.
Okay. By the way, that's I hate that the major threat you guys fear is being called a racist. So fucking what if you don't know that if you know that you're not, like, it's not like the end. Someone on Twitter called you a racist, and
That's true. I got
also,
called a
like,
Nazi the other day, and my life has not changed.
like, it's all these accusations of racism. If you believe in what you believe is true, and you get called for it, what does it matter? Should you change your beliefs because some idiot is calling you a name?
You're right. It is a stupid fear. It's one that I still live with, I'll admit. But it is a stupid
White guilt, white guilt.
I don't know if it's white guilt or what exactly, because I grew up in the South where there are a lot of racists, and I was very not racist. And so I was very trying to always make that obvious. I know that's stupid, but it was like I would talk more to the black people than I would the white people. And I would talk more to the, because I wanted to work against that idea that all Southerners are racist. And I know you're right. What does it fucking matter what people call me a racist? If I know I'm not a racist, what does it matter what you think, you know?
I think that American liberal anti-racist mentality is stronger than someone like me, because I didn't even see race. Like, we hate each other because of religion. There's no such thing as color of skin in our mind ever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so when it gets accused, I know I'm not like I'm not even gonna, okay, I'm a white supremacist, whatever, dude. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, just first of all, I didn't know about racism until the internet. I didn't know about like such a thing as judging people by the color of their skin. It was a foreign idea to me. Like, who the fuck does that? What does the color of skin even mean? Like, the fights begin because you're a Sunni, you're a Shia, you're a Christian, you're a Muslim. That's when the fight. But the same religion, all colors. The other religion, all colors. The color is irrelevant. Like, this mentality about color of skin is Americans are obsessed with race more than the rest of the other world. Like, it's not that. Do you know?
It's a huge deal here. Such a huge deal.
Tell me about it. Like, we started to think about it because of the Americans telling us about it. Like,
no way.
I'm not even kidding. Like, holy shit! It's like the term which is used as a defense. I didn't have a racist bone in my body. Like, that was us, and then okay, there's a trouble between black Americans and police. I don't understand what's going on, and then you know what I mean? Like, it's all of this is new, but here's how.
That's one part of Western American shit that I wish hadn't seeped into the rest of the world.
No, we'll never change. If there's a fight on the street, it starts after like people talk to each other. Oh, you're a Muslim Brotherhood supporter. Oh, you're an army supporter, and it's never about look at that guy and calling him names instantly. How is that possible?
Yeah, isn't that weird?
It's sectarian violence is horrible, by the way. I'm not pro like religion dividing people or anything, but it was never fucking color of skin. How stupid is that, by the way?
I agree.
Let's talk about racism not as an immoral thing. Let's talk about how stupid it is, by the way. how would it even like the lanolin in your skin be a characteristic of whatever the hell you are or what you believe in the beginning? It's not even so that's why I hate racism, because it's not just immoral, it's so fucking stupid. I have respect more for the theological debates, people doing them and hating each other, more than fucking racism, if you know what I mean. Like, it's at least oh no, you're saying I'm going to hell and you're saying I'm going to hell, and they'll keep on fighting, which is terrible. But at least
it makes more sense
there. I can put myself in the shoe of a Muslim and a Coptic Egyptian fighting. I can turn between them because I understand both the Old Testament, New Testament, and the Quran. But I can never put myself in the head of like people moving. Who are those people? I don't know. Let's know them and then let's decide. I couldn't, like, it's just when I told you before, like the stream, like the guy talking to me as a black guy, well, I didn't understand anything, and then come out he's a communist. Okay, now we'll fight. Okay.
Okay.
You should have started with as a communist. Then it would be obvious.
Then I could have known right away where we were going.
Which argument will he use? Communism was never executed correctly. We'll do it again right this time. Jesus. And by the way, how the hell, please explain to me this. How the hell the hammer and sickle is cool, but the swastika is no? Explain this to me.
You know what? Okay, I can't.
You can't because
I can't.
I tried to figure it out, and I have a theory. You want to hear my theory?
Yes, I really do.
I think that America's left has one main evil, which is racism. Okay, so
Wait. You think the America's left
has an enemy? Has
an enemy. Gotcha. Okay.
Has one main enemy. The only thing the true evil, the thing that we have to fight the most is racism.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So other evils that are not racist can slip through the back door. Meaning, there are other evils in the world other than racism. You know that. Okay.
Yes.
Ideas are evil. The other ideas which are evil can slip through the left because they actually don't discriminate against race, like communism and Islamic extremism. Both have nothing to do. So when the left thinks about Nazism, it's so fucking disgusting, and it has this wrench because it's against a people, it's against the Jews. But no matter how many people died in the Gulag, they were different. So it doesn't matter.
That's really an interesting theory. I think you're absolutely right. We're so busy watching this one ball that we don't even see these other balls all around.
You have communists in your midst in the left, and you know that communism is like, okay, you'll appropriate private property and you will kill the people of the private. You want to kill people, basically. Let's not get around the shit. If you're gonna have communism, you will kill
communists
people.
would say no, that's not how it's really supposed to be done.
Oh
but again, they're the same people that say we've never really had a communist state.
So you're gonna appropriate the private property of people, and those people will tell you, okay, I love it. That's what's gonna happen.
Well, it's just as stupid as the white nationalists who say we're going to get rid of all the people of color, and they'll just peacefully go. We don't need to actually, fight them. Right? It's just as stupid an idea, right? The corporations are going to just give up their things for communism.
But to me, as someone in the middle of the Middle East, not either West or East, or have dealt with racism, I've seen the fascists and the communists. Like both were here.
Yes.
Seeing both, to me, the swastika is the hammer and sickle. And both should be like, why the fuck is this symbol even on your t-shirt? Like done, like it's how is a hammer and sickle is cool now? Like, do you know, guys?
No, I agree. You're right. I never thought about comparing them, but you're absolutely right.
By the way, if we compare them, the numbers are communism. Like
haven't they killed the most?
Of course, they killed the most. Mao alone killed more than Hitler. Let's take China. Let's take... okay, and this is weird because, again, the thing with the gulags, you can talk about the gulags, but it's not anti-Semitism, it's not anti-black, it's not anti-anything. All the people who wouldn't go along with the Soviet Union's communism, we will kill, we will grab and kill. But how is that not evil? Like... Do you think that because the Soviet Union is not racist, therefore okay?
No, you're right.
It's
See, and this is another thing. I've just never looked at it that way, but you're absolutely right. That's why that isn't considered like the worst. Hitler is considered way worse than any of the communists, but it was because he was against a certain people.
Exactly. And it's actually, it's still more disgusting. I can understand. Like, he's going against people for who they are. And Stalin is going for anyone who's not a communist through the entire Soviet Union, so that only one communist party, hammer and sickle, and done. Anyone who disagrees, kill them.
Wow.
But it's still like, come on, like communism has struck in the Middle East also. Like we know, like Yemen was split just like Vietnam and North Korea and a lot of Germany. Like the Iron Curtain of the Soviet Union continued along the Middle East.
Wow.
So
and now he wants it back.
He doesn't want communism back. He wants Russia's power back.
He wants
Putin is not a communist.
What is he?
He's an extreme Russian nationalist asshole. By the way, the idea of Putin as a guy who kills journalists and dictator over his people is totally false. Russians love Putin.
Oh, wait a minute. So you don't think Putin is a murderer?
No, Putin is a murderer. But I'm saying Russians love Putin. Let me explain.
Oh, okay.
Putin is immoral for the goals of Russia. He will kill Ukrainians. He will kill in Georgia. He will kill Syrians. But he's not a dictator controlling his people and all the people hate him like what you think of a dictator. He's not a dictator as all the Russians want Putin gone and he's still in power by the hammer of his fist. Russians love Putin. That's a fact.
Why?
Because he's Russia first since 20 years ago. Russia first.
So for the same reason we love Trump, supposedly.
Exactly. Yeah, he's beyond a nationalist. Like, okay, when I don't want to sound like I'm defending Putin. But what I mean is there is, let's think of an evil guy who's out for himself, money, and doesn't even care about the country he's in power of. He just wants more wealth and fuck the people. That's not Putin. Putin
okay, so there is a difference between him and Trump then.
Exactly. So Putin actually cares about Russia's interests. But to increase Russia's interests, he has no respect for human rights. He has no respect for human lives. He has no respect for anything beyond Russia's border done. Like, he's not a moral guy, but he's actually not out for himself. He's out for Russia's interest, and America is standing against him, and he will divide you. And he won, by the way.
By the way, do you think he had something to do with all of that, our election and stuff?
No. The main goal of the Russian interference wasn't to make Trump win. The main goal of Russian interference is to divide Americans amongst each other.
And he won.
And then he won. Exactly. That's okay. You've read all the Russian troll farms. Who were they supporting, right? Or you didn't read that article?
No.
Okay, just the short version. Russia was supporting both the white nationalists to be more racist and Black Lives Matter to be more violent.
No.
Yes, they're supporting both sides. They're not supporting one side. Their goal is not one side to win. If Hillary won, they still want America divided. It doesn't.
Wait a minute. He's supporting both Black Lives Matter and
Russians supported Black Lives Matter.
Right, white nationalists. Oh my God.
Okay, if you look at RT, Russian TV, you think it's to the right or to the left? It's to the extreme left. It's to the Antifa, America's fault left. It's not right wing. It's Russia is pushing that divide. The main goal is Americans to keep fighting each other. The political situation there is a disaster. They will never get anything. Then you won't even get involved in the rest of the world as long as they're fighting among themselves. Done. And you keep fighting amongst yourself, by the way.
And we're like his little fucking puppets over here fighting each other.
Because you're consumed by race. And anyone who gonna play race against you, he will win. And he knows that, like, the KGB know Americans. and I thought that was well known because the Black Lives things matter. The Russia supporting Black Lives Matter is like a month ago, it's 3 weeks ago now.
Now, see, I didn't know that. I had heard about Russians supporting like the alt-right, but I did not know that they were equally on the other side, actually egging on the fight between the two. I did not realize that, no.
Oh, yeah. Let's make the Charlottesville's guys extreme and Antifa extreme. That's good for Russians.
And it's tearing our fucking country apart.
Without them losing a single bullet.
Without them, oh my God, they don't even have to come over here. They just have to get on the internet.
It's so easy. And again, Americans on the left are so gullible. I'm sorry. I don't want to like be an asshole.
No, I agree. I agree. I am.
How I can make an American liberal or a regressive or a progressive, sorry, go fucking crazy by like serious accusations or some racial slurs, and it's thick. We have an agent over there. Done. Next. It's how can you like and you know what's tragic about it? What's tragic about it is that a liberal and a Trump supporter has more in common than me and my next door neighbor. My next door neighbor is a Muslim who believes in extremist shit, and I'm here an atheist. We totally disagree about our views in the world, and we worked on the elevator for the sake of our building because we have to. We live here, but to see Americans like going totally other sides, you're the other, you're the enemy. Do you even know who's your enemy? Your enemy is not even in your country, dude. Like, the Trump supporter is totally not your enemy, trust me.
No, I totally agree. And that's actually kind of like where I've been trying to go with my channel. I hadn't thought about it so much in these terms, and this gives me so much to think about. But I have seen how the left has just decided that all of the right are evil, and largely the right has just decided that all of the left are evil. And I know that that's bullshit, that there are good, wonderful people on both sides, and we need to...
Not even good people. 99% of America are good guys. Like, it's so fringe. It's so, you don't understand how those two, the white nationalists and the extreme violent left, is a minute amount.
Yeah.
Have you forgot about the rest of America? Like, by the way, I know this because I'm talking with Americans, Brits, and Aussies all the time during gaming, during conversation about sci-fi and stuff. So all Americans are like, yeah, this normal guys, and voted Trump. And by the way, the guys, if you want to like do a peer review for normal Americans who are not on Twitter, who are not on 90 always talking about politics, so more than half of them voted Obama twice and then voted Trump.
Wow. Wow.
It's most of them an extreme hate for Hillary. Like, Hillary is not an option. That's true.
People really hate Hillary, which I honestly don't really understand. But I think the vehement hatred is probably a little crazy. But
I hate Obama and Hillary for foreign policy. That's totally different thing. Like, it's weird because whenever I talk against Hillary in the 2016 election, the people, they think I'm right wing. But I wanted Hillary to lose in the primary. The most important thing about the American election, Hillary to lose. I want Hillary out. Do whatever you want, just get Hillary out. But if I'm supporting a socialist, am I right wing? Like, how is this accusation?
Good point.
Like, and me, I wish to be the president of the United States of America is Tulsi Gabbard, a progressive from Hawaii.
Yes.
How am I right wing?
Good point. Like, absolutely good point. But you make an excellent point. It is a lot of people that believe just like you that voted for Trump. They didn't vote for him on any sort of racist grounds, but it has now become like well known in America that if you voted for Trump, you're a racist. If you voted for Trump, you're bad. And I just think that is such a toxic way to look at it. And we will never recover if we keep doing it.
It's even worse than that, because you said it doesn't mean if you voted for Trump is you're racist. If you voted for Trump doesn't mean you believe in total right-wing politics to begin with.
True, good
people
point.
were just done. Like, a lot of people didn't even like. You think people go to a policy 1-1-1-1-1 and I'm with Trump? No. We saw Hillary after Orlando. She didn't open her mouth a single word about Islamic terrorism and kept talking about guns. Trump talked about it. Done. I'm going for Trump. It's as simple as that. Maybe one moment of the Trump moments, which the left never talks about, made people go for Trump. Done. And they're like beyond the normal people. Like, calling these people evil with a capital E is just disgusting. They're your fellow Americans, God damn it.
Yes.
Why am I in Egypt telling you this?
I know. We need you over here, Omar. But you're right. They are fellow Americans, and we have decided that they're not. We have decided that they are against, what we really think America stands for, and that, and you're absolutely right. And if we continue to do that, and if we as a leftist continue to refuse to talk about terrorism and how dangerous it truly is, and aside from Muslims, right, then we're just going to keep losing, right? Are we over and over and over again?
Yeah, if you keep doing identity politics, Trump 2020, it's done.
Trump 2020. Oh my God, that makes me want to cry.
Okay, then the left wing is terrible at criticizing itself. Anyone who criticizes the left is outed.
That's what happened to me. I don't know if you've heard my story, but I was
suddenly a centrist, right? Because you were outed.
I was kicked out, basically, because I started talking about some shit that the left is doing that's wrong.
Okay, then you're right wing.
Now I'm a right winger. I'm a right wing. I've been called a Nazi, a right winger. Yep, a Trump lover. I've been called all these things just because I'm like, okay, the left has got to stop being so fucking violent.
I am against Obama's foreign policy, and I criticize it. Right, Obama and Hillary as Secretary of State, and John Kerry. Okay, now every single time I bring it up to someone on the extreme left, if I'm talking Obama, I'm a racist. If I'm talking Hillary, I'm a sexist.
Oh my gosh. See, and that is so prominent and so stupid.
Yeah, as if there were two Vulcans, if there were two Goa'ulds from Stargate SG-1 having the same foreign policy, I wouldn't criticize them. How the hell is this? And since when is like Hillary talking on behalf of all women and all this? What does this have to do with women? Like, can I please look at the policy? And it's so weird to like reduce the presidency, just be with her, woman. What?
Yes. Oh yeah, relevant? She played that up so bad. She played that up so bad.
Okay, you lose. Once you do that, you lose. Because you're not talking about a real, again, identity politics is empty. It doesn't represent anything. Like a woman, and like women can be evil. Like,
yes.
What did I get from a woman? Like, how does having a vagina has to do with foreign policy now?
I agree, 100%.
And she's and this is weird because people keep saying things that are so fucking wrong just to defend Hillary, and it's not factual. Like if we're gonna take one thing, this is and of course. I will keep saying caveats because I will get thrown into the alt-right suddenly. When it comes to who's more interventionist and hawkish, of course Hillary, not Trump. Of course, not even close. Like if you're a single issue voter who doesn't want more wars in the Middle East and people dying all over the world, you would go for Trump, of course. How is this even like? Have you seen Hillary? Have you seen Hillary talking about other countries? Do you know that Hillary said once I'm president, there is a no-fly zone over Syria? No-fly zone meaning turning down Syrian jets. That's a war in Syria, or even worse, taking down a Russian jet, which is a proxy war in the Middle East between Russia and the United States.
Okay. Can I just see? Okay, I agree that her saying that was poor, but. What the fuck are we supposed to do about Syria? Are we really supposed to just be hands off and let them fucking murder each other?
No. Right now, it's not like I have a solution in 2014.
Okay.
Right now, it's done. Actually, since early, and it's so complicated because there's a lot of factions. It's the term Syrian civil war makes you think there is two sides. It's not even two sides. There is a split between Syrians who are pro-Bashar and anti-Bashar. But those are not the ones fighting. The war is between Bashar's army and ISIS and Jabhat al-Nusra and the Kurds in the north and a lot of factions.
Shit.
Syria is a clusterfuck of all the Middle East went to the vacuum left by, do you want me to talk Syria?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would like to hear what your thoughts are on what the hell we could do about it, because I don't believe hands off is the right thing.
No. Right now is the main pressure to The problem is Russia's there now. Okay, so you have to. You can't just go to say again. People need to think about this clearly because the Cold War is only cold for the United States and the Soviet Union. It's warm for everyone else.
Oh, wow.
And we're people in the middle. The Cold War is terrible for people in the middle because of such a thing as proxy wars. Soviet Union supporting one side, America supporting the other sides, people dying.
Oh, shit.
And countries splitting. And you have North Korea and South Korea. And you have North Vietnam and South Vietnam. And you have Yemen. And that's the warm part of the Cold War. America and the Soviet Union was never hit. But everything else was shit. Like any war you think of between 1949 and 1991 is part of a proxy war between the Cold War. Us and the Israelis. We were supported by the Soviet Union. Israel was supported by the United States. Do you think we have this casualties if they didn't have American weapons and we didn't have MiGs from the Soviet Union?
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
So let's be clear. If we're gonna stay moral on this and we have to avoid terrible consequences, proxy wars is out of the question.
Okay.
That's number one for me. Number two, the problem now is when you make pressure, political pressure or ultimatums, it doesn't work anymore because Putin is like, fuck you, red line, you said it before.
Right.
I don't even, that's still a problem because, and you're not going to do it. We're here. We know, now we know you're not going to do it.
Yeah. Well, but now we have Trump, who's a little bit crazy.
Sometimes his craziness makes people change their opinions. Let's not do everything because Trump is crazy. Like that makes people like second guess. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like nobody really knows what he's going to do.
Actually, if you look at international relations, the things other governments do now is to kiss Trump's ass. Because once he kisses ass, great people, good people, awesome people, I do whatever you want. Like, that's a really easy solution to win a diplomatic war. Like, all we have to do is tell you how great you are. Done. You're fucking.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's sad, too.
We did it. It's Sisi for the military aid. Like, Trump is awesome. How awesome is Trump? Trump is the greatest guy ever. Done.
Y'all are great.
And we solved the problem in Sinai thanks to the Americans. Thank you. Done. It's so easy. Like, just compliment Trump. That's a foreign policy we're living in 2017 right now.
You can play him like a fiddle like that.
Like, I mean, even the guy in China just get some words good on Trump. Like, China is doing better now. The North Korea. Actually, China is not that bad. The Saudis gave some words and some swords and some tea to Trump. Qatar is a problem. Qatar is a problem, not Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is not a problem, seriously. Like, what?
No, I know.
It's not even normal politics. It's 10-year-olds in the school. Like, it's not even... It is.
I was going to say high school, but you're probably right. It's even probably...
No, it's even... But here is the thing. It's you see, this whole fascist white supremacist thing is not actually true because I want the left to criticize Trump for incompetence and like, do you listen to the Sam Harris podcast? Or you think Sam Harris is a bigot and a racist?
No, I actually like Sam Harris, but I haven't listened to him. I need to catch up on his stuff.
Sam Harris is the #1 like guy to criticize Trump, like he's taking Trump down, but he criticizes Trump correctly, like not the rise of white supremacy and racism in the White House. Like, that's what, you know what I mean? Like, he actually takes policies down and he's incompetent in this. And his argument to vote for Hillary wasn't wasn't all this because incompetence in the White House. Still, he's still stating that because, by the way, there's some words when the left keep using, the guys in the middle of America and in the right know that you're bullshitting. When you exaggerate over the top, you lose people more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because let's take an example. Fascist. Okay, Rez, by definition, if fascist is being said in all mainstream media, he's by definition not a fascist.
That's right.
How can he be fascist and you're hearing the word you guys don't know what fascism is. Seriously. Yeah. Like, I hear some fascism. I can't go to media and criticize Sisi. I would get thrown in jail.
Yes.
That's fascist.
Yes.
So keep saying fascist, and it's the inverse opposite. The American Constitution actually works. Even a guy, he wouldn't get all that power. That's good. But instead of saying that's good and he's incompetent and fascism and the rise of white supremacy. Okay? Yes. You're losing people because you're saying bullshit.
And that's absolutely
right. It's actually bullshit. Yeah. Like, you tell me what, you criticize the left for a while.
The biggest criticizing that I've been doing lately is about Antifa and the violence that comes out of the left, and also this idea that so many people on the left have that everybody on the right is racist or, you know, somehow in some way evil or anti-American values or whatever. I think that's the biggest problem in America right now, is that we are so divided, and a lot of it is because of the freaking violence that's coming out of our side. So I would say that's the thing that I most criticize, but I have been wanting to get into talking about identity politics because, especially in this conversation with you, it really is starting to feel like kind of the main thing that is ruining us on our side and will lose this country for us.
Yes, and the stress should be treating people as individuals of their own agency. The grouping thing just simply is not true. If you say black people are X, whatever X is positive or negative, that's an unfactual statement. You know what I mean?
That's right.
They can't be any one thing. And the black women are, they can't be any one thing. Of course they can't. It's so obvious to me. And that's why the mentality is so different, because I am such an individualist. Like I pick someone, and like according to what he's doing, his facial reactions, his anything, that's, I mean, I have never been a group of people who react the same. Like how the Yasmin said it correctly. Yasmin said identity politics is nuanced bigotry. Like it's a high class yeah, it's just putting people into categories. You treat people differently. Literally, you literally treat people differently.
That is true.
And by the way, remember the normal Americans in gaming? Like they're old guys, but they, when I told you voted twice Obama and once Trump, one guy and his wife too said this word, which is like, you should warning left. No, I voted Trump when I realized the liberals were the racist ones.
Wow. And that is a perception that is starting to happen.
It happened since
breaks
2016.
my mind. Like, how is that even possible? But you're absolutely right. There is a nuanced bigotry about it.
Every conservative I've met is treating people. He might be an asshole in women's rights, but he's not racist. In fact, liberals are the one insisting that we should differentiate people because of their color. That's what they said.
Well, and it's hard though, because see, there is actual real racism on the right. I mean, we can't just ignore that. And it's not just against Muslims, it's against all people of color. It's still a problem in America.
Right. Two wrongs doesn't make a right.
But you're right, two wrongs doesn't make a right. So how do you
so shift to treating people as individuals? Everyone should be treated for who. And here is the thing, I trick liberals. It's because liberals are so gullible. Sorry, again. Someone comes to me with identity politics. I specifically use quotes from Martin Luther King as if they're mine.
Yes,
and
you
he
can
calls
get
me
some good
racist.
quotes out of him.
And he calls me racist. Okay, Martin Luther King is a racist against black people. Done.
Wow.
Bravo, left. Because I have a dream to be for my children to be treated for who they are, not the color of their skin. If I said that, like, their color of skin doesn't matter, things like that is anti-identity politics.
That's true. That's true. So then as a leftist, that's what has to be my main focus then.
Because that's why Martin Luther King, I would call the liberal, not the progressive identity politics. Like the civil rights movement is real. Anything happening now, it's not real. It's not even activism that's pro something specific. Like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes just words. We have to stand up for women. What? Like, you know what I mean? It's not even our needs are 1, 2, 3, 4. You know the difference? Like there's activism and there's just talking out loud.
Yeah. Very true.
There's talking out loud. And some people, I think they're not even like, my friends and I keep saying like, they're well-intentioned idiots. Like we know the intention is good, but they went too far. But some people on the left, I don't think they're well-intentioned.
You don't? See, now I disagree there.
I don't think,
do
because
think that their hearts are in the right place.
No. Because if you are using it this far to just grab people's attention and virtue signal to be playing this people and saying the things that they want to hear non-stop, you just want to be the good guy so much, and that's not morality. Morality is...
Okay, I can agree with you there.
Yeah, I'm a consequentialist. Consequentialist is a philosophy of morality that is the consequences matter. like what the actual consequences of your actions matter. So when I look at this, like all you want to do is like feel good about yourself, and that's about it. Sometimes for a consequentialist, doing a shitty thing that's right, that will make you feel shitty about yourself, can't sleep at night, is the right thing to do.
Yeah. Wow.
Like
that's true.
When you go against your lefty friends and say something, you feel bad because you think they will hate you, they think they will call you names, or maybe you lose a friendship. It feels shit,
I lost an entire group of friends.
But that's the right thing to do for the truth.
Yeah.
So that feeling is, I call morality. But the feeling of I will let people hear exactly what they want to hear from me as virtue signaling 100% all the time. Black people, you're going to hear this. Gay people need to hear this. LGBT community need to hear this. Done. All checklist. I am awesome. I am great. Guys, give me candy.
Wow. It is.
That's not morality.
More about yourself.
It's caring more about yourself than other human beings. Obviously.
I never looked at it that way. Because, see, I mean, I was so involved with the really progressive, regressive left for a while. And the people that I knew in that group, who all have unfriended me now because I'm talking about this kind of stuff, I always looked at them as being, you know, truly caring. They truly care. It's that they care, but they just are doing it wrong. But you're right. When I think of some of them, there is absolutely an element of them just wanting to be considered the good guys. And so in that sense, they're caring more about themselves. Altruistic?
That's not altruism.
That's not altruistic. You're right. Wow.
Like if you did something for someone else and people gave you shit for it, that's altruism. Once you're getting everything you want, but exactly like people telling you how awesome you are, that's not, that's your reason. It's not altruism. And of course, they're not all. And I can tell because like I can judge characters. Like some people, to me, some people of the, let's say, elite Hollywood types are immoral. They're not doing it for moral reasons.
Yeah.
So specifically, I can tell. And I can like tell you exactly how I conclude this. But trust me, there is a certain type of media personalities and mainstream media and elite liberals in California and Hollywood, which are just, there is no way in hell you actually care. In fact, if you actually cared, you will look at the real numbers and the real issues, and you wouldn't say an untrue statement which would make people give you applause while it's untrue. If you actually cared, you would look at the, like, let's stand against Assad, or let's stand against A, or let's stand against A. But listen, Obama was actually one who started this, and I can test it, by the way. I can test it. How I can test it? Because here's some of my tests. I love psychoanalyzing people, sorry.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah. So during the Syria clusterfuck, which I didn't explain, sorry, but a part of what I would call semi-good guys are the FSAs, the Free Syrian Army. They started with the revolution, and military split from Bashar, said, Bashar, fuck you, we're fighting you, and we'll protect Syrians. Good guys.
Yes.
Now, the FSA are, a lot of them are Syrian nationals. They're not Islamists, they're not anything, but they're doing this for Syria. Suddenly, a lot of foreign fighters came in, and America's money came in, and Qatar's money came in, and Saudi Arabia kept funding this, and the Kurds came from Iraq. There were a whole other thing other than Syrian. So the pure Syrian revolution is not pure anymore. There is foreign influence. Some of them were nationalists. So to them, an asshole Syrian is better than my country getting taken over by ISIS foreign fighters from Europe.
Yes.
So that, and during that mentality, Bashar, the son of a bitch, was a genius in this one act. In early 2015, he made a full pardon, one by one, with his own signature, to anyone who defected. If he re-defected to him, as if you did nothing wrong, you're into the system again in the Bashar army.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of them returned back to Bashar because they want to defend Syria, even if Bashar is president, against fucking foreign fighters making a caliphate in their own country.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it's so complicated. As I said, all of that is like late 2014. So now there were support from America to the rebels. That support continued even after the good guys were no longer the good guys, because now we have something called Jabhat al-Nusra, which is an Islamic terrorist organization other than ISIS, by the way. They're the remnant of Al-Qaeda, because Al-Qaeda thinks ISIS is too extreme, which is insane. I don't. Like
Oh
the
wow.
ones who did 9/11 think ISIS is taking
Is
the
too
religion too
extreme.
extreme.
Wow,
That's
that's
how bad
sarcastic.
ISIS is. Like people from Al Qaeda. That's the main split between Bin Laden and Abu Musab al-Zarqawi, which I told you about in Iraq. He told him, "You are killing Muslims. We kill infidels. Why are you killing Muslims?"
Right.
No, the chaos is the way we like. Abu Musab al-Zarqawi is a psychopath. He's a fucking psychopath. Actually, medically, he went out from a Jordanian prison as a psychopath. So
Oh,
that
wow.
guy is like the main reason of all the evil I can tell you about him. Or read a book called Black Flags by Michael. I forgot his name. Anyway,
Black flags. Okay.
I'm telling you all this because why? Because the American aid kept on going, which is now going to affiliates to Al Qaeda. I'm not even kidding. Check it. That's during during 2015. Now, of course, a lot because it was still anti-Bashar. So I don't know what the fuck was going on in Obama's head, but in his mind, anything against Bashar is good. I assume. I don't know.
But that
Like
doesn't make any sense.
that doesn't make any fucking sense. But the aid kept continuing, and I'm telling you all the story because it's an experiment. Like I explain this to anyone, and I will change a bit in the end, but I will tell you how I changed both, and I explain the experiment. Now, uh, now people, of course, American politicians were anti-supporting the rebels now because there was no more such a thing as moderate rebels. We're supporting an Islamic group. That's not good either way, even if it's
Right.
against Bashar. So, and the word moderate rebel kept going on in the media. They didn't even change. Like the same moderate rebels we were supporting in 2014, 2015 came, and you guys were still saying moderate rebels. Of course, we guys here know. So what the fuck? Who moderate? Moderate what? They're killing
Yeah.
infidels. Like they're putting women's in burqas. Like moderate.
Ugh.
So and you kept saying moderate rebels, because by the way, that's not like CNN fake news. That's influence from Qatar. Because Jabhat al-Nusra is connected to Qatar. It's a long story. That's an influence mainly from Al Jazeera English, and Al Jazeera Plus, and Huffington Post Arabic. They controlled by Al Qatar.
Interesting.
Because Qatar is another story. Let me get you through this.
No, yeah, I definitely after this I'm going to read up about Qatar because apparently I have a very wrong idea about who they are. Anyway, go on.
Qatar is not totally Islamic Wahhabi like Saudi Arabia. Qatar is actually doing this for their own interests to spread their influence in the Middle East, anti-Saudi Arabia. They're not like, they don't, if an like when you supported the Mujahideen against the Soviet Union, were you Islamic? No. So that's Qatar. But when Saudi Arabia does it, Saudi Arabia genuinely wants Islam to spread. Like,
Okay.
so Qatar is not, don't think of Qatar as extremist Islam. No. They're businessmen.
They're
Qatar
business.
is money.
Okay.
Money
Okay.
and money all over the Middle East, so that we have more control and more money. Basically,
I
businessmen.
gotcha. Okay.
Immoral businessmen. Better? Okay. Syria. Back to Syria. Sorry about
No,
jumping around
that's
because-
so good.
One of the people who wanted to stop that fucking aid, because if Bashar will stay in power, there is no large army against him anymore, and Russia's there, we can't be the cause of prolonging a war that's killing civilians in the middle to no end. Like, when civilians were dying, we had a goal that Bashar is taken out. But if Bashar is staying, we're fueling a pointless war.
Yeah.
And that's wrong. We're killing people. One of the awesome people against that was called Tulsi Gabbard from Hawaii. She's a progressive representative of Hawaii. Okay? She did something that no other American politician ever fucking did. She came to the Middle East and asked people what's the best thing to do.
Wow.
She came to Syria undercover, by the way. She didn't plan anything. She was with 3 guys. Read about her, please. She's an awesome woman.
Okay.
In Damascus, ask everyone, went to Bashar, met Bashar, and went down from his palace and met people. And a Syrian friend of mine actually met her. She told me she was, and she explained things to her and because American weapons to the rebels was reaching Damascus, and we guys are not even Bashar supporters, and we're dying. Like, it was a shit show.
Wow.
So after all that explanation, she went back. That's like early 2017 now. Okay, early 2017, she went back, put hands with Trump afterwards, went to Congress, said if any American civilian gives money to affiliates of Al-Qaeda, affiliates of Ansar al-Sham, affiliates, named the whole groups, he would be considered a criminal, and that's supporting terrorism. How the hell our entire government is doing it? And she made the huge speech. And
Wow.
now this is the Stop Supporting Terrorism bill, and she passed the bill, and done. Now, the awesome thing about Tulsi Gabbard is she actually cares about human beings. She put hands with Assad, she put hands with Trump, no matter bipartisan, partisan, fuck your politics. People are dying.
Yes.
So, fuck your politics, people are dying. People will call me Bashar al-Assad sympathizer, so what? People will call me, now you're bed with Trump. Yes, I will work with Trump, sorry. And she didn't give a fuck. That's why I am calling that woman a moral human being.
Interesting.
Okay, so I have still not reached the point of the experiment. After I explain that, and everyone will agree that stopping the aid, the military, stopping giving weapons to the rebels who are not moderate is a good thing. If I'm talking to a liberal and I told them Tulsi Gabbard did this, he will say awesome, and that's awesome. If I told them Trump did this, he's bending over to Russia because he doesn't want to fight Bashar. He's not doing this for the right reason. But the same exact event, Rez. The same exact reality. Both people, but they're looking at the same exact event. Stopping weapons to go to those because it's prolonging a war. I explained the whole thing. If Trump did it, bad. If Tulsi Gabbard did it, good. Explain that to me, Rez.
I can explain it to you because I might be guilty of the same thing. Because I have such a bad opinion of Trump, and I consider him to be so selfish and not caring about people, I question any decision he makes. And so, yes, if I had heard that entire story, minus the actually going and asking people in the area, because that is really a huge deal. If it had just been Trump saying, we have to stop doing this, I admit I would question his motives. But knowing it came from Tulsi, it changes my opinion of it. And that's something I need to work on in my own self, because that's pretty...
Because in reality, both of them did it, Trump and Tulsi. She worked with him on it, on that bill. She actually worked with him.
That's crazy.
Because she didn't care if you keep calling white supremacy. He's the president of the United States, and we need to do something about people dying in the other part of the world. I will work with whatever. I want my policies to work. I am not here to be against my own government. My government is now Trump. I will work with it. You keep saying
interesting.
Like, we want Trump to fail, like we want against these policies. Then you want you to fail. Like, you keep forgetting he's your president. Sorry.
I know. Interesting.
Like keep working.
And embarrassing, but I have to admit it.
And the part about like Tulsi, and that's why I'm keep saying Tulsi 2020. Like, if you want to do something for the left, please not another Hillary or not another establishment Democrat.
Agreed.
Please get Tulsi Gabbard. Just go find her. Start the campaign from now. Anything. Just get Tulsi Gabbard in the White House. The world will be a better place. If she can do this while she's a representative from Hawaii and save thousands of lives, imagine what can she do if she's a president of the United States.
That's true. I've heard a lot of great stuff about her too. I need to pay more attention to her.
And we love her, and some Americans don't even know her. Like, we love her because what she did for us.
Yeah. I mean,
Like
that's
we
really
did.
amazing that she came there and she actually spoke to y'all and like the people that are living with it. What do you think we should do? That's such a novel idea.
No, never thought of that before. Like,
I
let's
know,
ask them.
right?
We're the people of democracy, but when it comes to foreign policy, we'll decide.
I know. See, that's crazy. That is so crazy. So then, okay. So then just to come back to, so just to kind of finish it in my mind regarding Syria. So then you would say that at this point, since we know there's no way we're going to get the shot out, it's just kind of give up and let them have it.
Give up and let them have it for the sake of saving human lives. Haven't you noticed that the number of people dying in Syria reduced now extremely in 2017? It's because we left Bashar ticket.
Interesting.
It's weird, I know, it's weird, but this welcome to geopolitics.
Yes, no, exactly. I mean, it's so much more complicated than, especially Americans, because we do have this thing where we sort of just block ourselves off from the rest of the country. I mean,
that's another fault of the left. The left is not only the, let's say something cute to make good, oh Allah. They're so simplistic. Like, who's the bad guy? Who's the good? Let's look at consequences. No. Who's Bashar bad? Bashar bad. War criminal. Done. Like, there's no nuance in the conversation. Like, it's always sound bites, sound bites, sound bites. And done.
That's true.
But if I keep saying things which have actually good consequences, goes against the views of a liberal, he would be saying, how are you saying this? Some things about Trump, like, as I said right now, Trump and Putin are buddies, and Syria's better for it.
And Syria's better for it. Wow.
Because both agreed to share information and get rid of ISIS, and ISIS is falling because of that. United States and Russia are both working together against ISIS. They're not working against each other.
I just can't tell you what this conversation is doing for my mind. It's like...
And by the way, that's another part that a non-American would look at differently than a liberal American who thinks that this thing about Trump and Putin being buddies is terrible. Like, any of us who know the consequences of proxy wars and all of this shit, when we hear Trump and Putin are buddies, good. Good, please don't fight each other. Like, okay, that's actually way better than another Cold War. Like, they're buddies. And sorry, guys. I mean, what can I say?
Yeah. Well, I mean, from an American standpoint, it's nerve-wracking to have our president somehow in cahoots with somebody who's basically been our enemy for as long as I've, we grew up being afraid of Russia, right? So
no, he is your enemy. Russia. I'm not saying Putin is good or it's a good thing, but I'm saying when we talk specifically about the Syria situation,
right?
It's a good thing that if you forget the names Trump and Putin, and I say it like this, the United States of America and Russia are working together against ISIS for the security and a better ceasefire against all factions in Syria. That's good.
I'm 100% on board with that.
That's done. It doesn't even, but when we push Trump into the sentence.
I know. And I told you, I'm just as guilty of it because I have a very visceral reaction to that man. Even before he became our presidential nominee, even before I knew he was going to run for president, I have hated that man. So, I mean, he's just such a despicable human being. So I admit that I have that same knee-jerk reaction and saying, oh, well, if Trump's involved, it's just bad. And I need to stop doing that because nobody is all bad.
You need to stop doing that for another reason. Anything America does in the next 3 years will be, quote unquote, Trump doing it.
Yeah.
You will be against anything your country stands for all over the world. Like, how can this even, like, it's not even practical. Like, if I just said the United States is supporting what. Of course, it's not Trump. It's foreign policy advisors. It's who in the White House is another good Americans working for America. It's not Trump. But he signs the end of the paper, so it's Trump. So you will be against it?
Yeah.
It's people, it's Americans, it's CIA, it's FBI, it's working for something good. You still have institutions that are doing good, that are governmental institutions. You can't call them evil.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
They're the ones doing everything for you now.
Man, I wish I could just come over and like take you to lunch or something. I feel like there's so much in your brain that I need to know.
Yeah, I've been reading for like 12 years now. I'm an information curiosity geek.
I think that's amazing. I'll definitely be
Yeah,
catching up more with what you have to say.
yeah, thank you so much, Rez, for this. And I love the amount, because I actually said to Yasmin before, and she quoted me on Twitter, like when I told her, getting a liberal out of regressive left is harder than getting a Muslim out of Islam.
I will agree with that. It took
Like,
quite a lot to get me out of it. I will agree with that.
Sometimes it just blocks, and it's so great to see you even open to consider. And it doesn't even matter if you agree with me. We disagree about stuff like I would be more focused on foreign policy while knowing that Trump is doing terrible shit for healthcare and shit, and I'm focused on the Middle East. That's normal. Like, it doesn't have to be like this or that or anything, or you have to care exactly about this purity test is disastrous. Like, but Omar, what do you think of trans bathrooms? What do I care? Like, I'm a guy in Egypt fighting female genital mutilation in Upper Egypt. Dude, I don't care. So you don't care about trans people, right? Yes, I don't care about trans people. Like, I will say that. Like,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, they keep pushing until I say things I wouldn't say to you, like things I don't believe in, I'd care. But I will just say it out of spite because of this weird moral superiority. Like, you know what I mean? There is an actual arrogance, and so when I say things like I said actual, if you can quote me on people, but I'm against those people. I want to piss them off. Like, okay, fuck trans people. Okay, fuck Black Lives Matter. Okay, fuck it has nothing to do with trans or Black Lives Matter, but it has to do with that your arrogance trying to judge me, and you don't know shit, dude. So fuck you.
Yes.
That's my instant reaction to anyone who's just like coming with a moral purity superiority. And I
think moral superiority is it's actually very perfect moniker for that.
There is white supremacist in the left, and there is moral supremacist on the left, on the right, and on the left.
Wow.
There's moral supremacists. Purity.
That's a thing. That's an actual thing.
Yeah, that's an actual thing. And it's weird that they mischaracterize the word I don't care. When I say I don't care, that doesn't mean I am pro or against, dude. It's not my issue. It's not just.
I have other things I'm worried about. Right.
Yeah. Why do I have? And what is this shit about? Like trans bets? Why would I care? Like, I have nothing to do with it. And it's so weird that they take I don't care. Like, no, you have to come and you have to pick a side.
Yes.
Dude, I am out of this. I don't need a pick a side. I know nothing about trans. Back to what I'm here. You know what I mean? That's the part of no. So you're with us or against us? And that guy was neutral. Now he's against you. Good.
Yeah. Well, and I think too that it's the purity thing, like you said. Like, they can. It's fine if you believe this one thing, but if you're against, but if you don't care about the trans issue, well, then you're clearly against everything that we're against.
Yeah.
Or if you do care about this, then you're clear. It's like that's part of what a centrist is, right? It's being sort of able to see both sides of it and maybe not agreeing with everything in one whole group. And the liberals will the leftists will kick you the fuck out if you don't agree with everything that they think.
Yeah, I will tackle this one more time before we close, but I will go to this not from a centrist point of view, but from a consequentialist point of view. Because from a consequentialist point of view, the guy who doesn't care, who's not helping, is not immoral at all. The guy who's doing harm is the guy who's immoral. So you need to make a difference between people doing harm and people not helping.
Yes.
It's fine for anyone of their own free will, if they're not harming anyone, not to help any cause or any issue. What's wrong with that? They're not harming anyone.
Yeah.
They're not bad people. They don't have to help.
That's true.
The people you need to attack are the people causing damage. So in moral philosophy, it's the important thing to fight is to be against human suffering, like to reduce human suffering.
Yes.
The need to like increase well-being is less than we need to first stop human suffering. The perfection of everyone helping and increasing well-being and increasing is a less priority than stopping the evil. So
I see what you're
have
saying.
to, yeah. So you have to go against the actual risk, the actual who are doing harm, who are causing harm, than to go to someone who's not helping and insisting him to join you. That doesn't make sense. Even like he's not.
No, that
he's
makes.
neutral.
I've never thought about that. That's like probably the 20th thing you said that I've gone. I've never thought of it that way. But wow, I mean, I'm seriously going to be thinking about this conversation for the rest of my day.
Listen to it again and share it with your viewers. Done.
I absolutely will. I absolutely will. I mean, you, I think, have really helped me.
You're good.
Kind of focus the path that I want to take. So I really appreciate that.
Thank you. No, thank you. And anytime, and come here anytime. I love talking to you. I love talking. I love arguments in general. Please.
Yes, absolutely.
So do it again. And thank you so much, Rez, for this. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you like the conversation. And we're done.